welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will be breaking down the Week 17 NFL football games, and way more of the games. If you're new here, welcome. We have been doing pretty well with our bets. On Christmas, we did really well, and we needed that. We finished with 6 wins and 3.5 losses. This puts our total record at 57, and 52. We are up 8.56 units. Let's keep it rocking. And if you're new, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to never miss more sports bets and news. And let me know if you like this new format in the comments below, where Justin Beat will get straight into the bets we like. Now, as we head towards the end of the year, we're starting to see more and more teams with nothing to play for. We see a lot of games with teams that need to win and get in, playing against teams with nothing to play for. But the first one we like is Jonathan Taylor over 98.5 yards. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor is set to face one of the weakest run defenses in the league. The New York Giants rank 31st in rushing yards allowed and have given up the second most runs of 10 or more yards this season. Their most glaring issue, however, is their league worst mark in rushing yards allowed over expected. The Giants have surrendered a staggering 429 rushing yards over expected to opposing running backs this season, far outpacing the next worst team, the Las Vegas Raiders, at 238. This means a lot of broken tackles. On the flip side, Taylor has excelled with 179 rushing yards over expected, the 6th highest among running backs this year. With the volume he's likely to get, and I can see 25-plus touches, Taylor should easily surpass 100 rushing yards, even without a big breakout run. Next, we're going to stick with the running backs and another high-profile back, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has just 2 games left to break Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record, and the Philadelphia Eagles star is primed for a massive performance in Dallas. Barkley needs 268 yards to make history and faces a Dallas Cowboys defense that ranks 30th in rushing yards allowed per game, allowing an average of 4.8 yards per carry. The Cowboys could struggle even more with leading tackler Eric Kendricks listed as questionable, and linebacker Demario Overshown on injured reserve. While an over prop set at 111.5 rushing yards may seem high, Barkley has been electric this season, leading the league with 42 runs of 10 or more yards, including a 68-yard touchdown in last week's game against Washington. No Jalen Hurts as well, so again, another player I see getting 25 rushes and will have a great chance to get even 30 rushes this week. Next, we are going to Buffalo for the Jets-Bills game, with the Kansas City Chiefs locking up the top seed in the AFC playoffs. The Bills have less riding on the final 2 weeks of the season. Buffalo still needs one more win to secure the number 2 seed. The Bills' offense didn't look too good last week, and the Jets have been a roller coaster all year. Nearly every first down was penetrated by Aaron Dalton. And thirst at the World Series is turning into a season the Bills getting gope. Aaron Rodgers plans to play on Sunday, despite a knee injury that further hampers an offense already struggling with a lack of explosiveness. The Jets rank in the bottom 10 in the NFL for explosive play rate, and now face a Buffalo defense specifically designed to limit big plays. In their Week 6 meeting, the total points line closed at 42.5. Now, heading into Week 17, with rain and winds above 10 miles per hour in the forecast, the total is set at 46.5. This adjustment feels too high, and I'll be betting the under, anticipating a game similar to Buffalo's low-scoring win last week. Another running back in matchup I am looking at is Bucky Irving. Although Bucky Irving began the season as Russia's White's backup, The rookie has firmly established himself as the leader in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers backfield. Heading into Week 17, Irving has claimed the RB role, posting an impressive 5.2 yards per carry throughout December. He is now set to face a Carolina Panthers run defense that ranks last in the league, allowing 5.1 yards per carry. Despite Tampa Bay falling behind early last week, Irving still managed 15 carries, highlighting his role in the offense. With a likely run-heavy game plan this week, Irving is primed for success against a Panthers defense that surrendered 152 yards on 25 carries to him back in Week 13. I'll take his over 82.5 rushing yards prop in Tampa Bay. The next game we're breaking down is the Packers at Vikings. The betting market views the 11-4 Packers as being on par with the 13-2 Vikings, with the line essentially treating this game as a toss-up in Minnesota. The spread is just the Vikings giving 1 point. While I agree that the Packers likely have a higher power rating, I don't see a lot of value in betting either side. A Green Bay loss could drop them to the 7th seed if the Commanders win on Sunday, but a win would position them to potentially overtake the Vikings for the 5th seed in Week 18. That could mean the difference between a first-round trip to Philadelphia or Atlanta, making this a critical game for the Packers. On the other hand, Minnesota still controls its fate for securing the top seed in the NFC playoffs. A win how? And they'll be the number 1 seed. In their first matchup, Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores did an excellent job of applying pressure and forcing Jordan Love to speed up his decision-making. This led to several early mistakes that put the Packers in a deep hole. However, Green Bay managed to claw its way back with consistent explosive plays, suggesting that this game could feature plenty of scoring, whether it stays close or one team builds a substantial lead. Both defenses are somewhat forgiving between the 20s, but excel in key situations, ranking among the top 5 in EPA per drive allowed over the second half of the season. They're especially strong on third downs and in the red zone, making it tough for offenses to capitalize fully on their drives. The Vikings' defense is also much better at home, which is also something to note. But with that said, I'm expecting a high-scoring game that comes down to the wire, likely decided by whoever has the ball last. We'll take the over at 48.5. Next, the Falcons and Commanders matchup feels primed for a low-scoring affair, making the under 46.5 points an appealing play. Both teams rely heavily on their ground games, which tends to chew up the clock and limit possessions. Atlanta's offense is built around its run-heavy approach, with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, while Washington has leaned on Brian Robinson Jr. to establish its identity. But why I like the under a lot here is because the Commanders are coming off an emotional win against the Eagles last week, and for the Falcons, this will be Penix Jr.'s first real test. The Commanders' defense is stellar, but I still like the under here. As for the Monday night game with the Lions at 49ers, this just feels like a game that the Lions will be looking to make a statement, kind of like what they did against Dallas. In that game earlier this season, Detroit was favored by 3 points on the road against a banged-up Cowboys team, and they didn't just win. They dominated, delivering a 47-man laterals late in the game, sending a clear message. Roney had some predictable moment laterals late in the game, sending a clear message. Detroit still carries that bitter taste in their mouth from last year. All that plus, the 49ers are dealing with significant struggles and a wave of injuries. Star offensive lineman Trent Williams is out for the season, and their running back group is depleted. What was once an offense that reliably put up at least 24 points per game has now failed to reach that mark in 4 of Brock Purdy's last 5 starts, scoring 17 or fewer in those games. While Dan Campbell and the Lions know that simply winning in Week 18 should lock up the number 1 seed, Campbell has stated they're treating this game like any other, with full focus and effort. His team has shown a tendency to pour it on when the opportunity arises, and they could very well do so again against a 49ers squad that has been one of the most disappointing teams in the league this year. Detroit seems poised to seize this moment and leave a lasting impression. I'll lay the 3.5 points with the Lions. So those are my favorite bets for Week 17, and that is it for this week. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video for more betting and sports news. See you in the next one.